Ladies and gentlemen, today we introduce an extraordinary leader in the world of technology and innovation, Ambassador Dr. Ishha Farah Qureshy. With over 15 years of expertise in artificial intelligence, metaverse, robotics, and cloud technologies, she has shaped the future of AI-driven solutions. As the founder of IFQ Evotech, she pioneered AI research and development, earning recognition from Forbes as Crown Technopreneur, where tech brilliance meet beauty and grace. A serial TEDx speaker, a global AI thought leader, and a United Nations diplomat honoree, she has been at the forefront of digital transformation. Beyond technology, Dr. Ishha is an accomplished artist, a former Mrs. Universe 2019 Solidarity winner, and a woman icon making waves in the Arab world. Her mission? To make education and financial inclusion accessible for all, driving impact change across industries. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ishha Farah Qureshy, a visionary shaping the future of AI and beyond. Dr. Ishha, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining. We're so proud to have you today.
Thank you very much, Sunny.
So this is an important topic, and I'm sure for all of our viewers across the globe, education is an important aspect of what we do. It's the foundation of our tomorrow.
Yes.
And as we progress with the next gen technologies, and I want to learn a lot more about it through your perspective, the idea is to ensure that we evolve the education as well to do better for everybody around us, right? And that's an important aspect. So I wanted to start this podcast by asking you more about understanding the intersection of technology and education. You have been a strong advocate using technology in the field of education to transform education. What inspired you to take this path?
Amazing. That's a great question. So, from my childhood, I should put that entire credit to my mom. She always put that DNA in our brain and thoughts that education is the most important thing. So, in spite of any challenges that you face in your life, we had a difficult childhood though. But even then, education was the prime importance that she always gave us because she clearly believed that education is one such tool which can change not just one individual's life, probably an entire generation by itself. And that's so very true. Like if you look at sustainable development goal, the SDG 4 is a quality education, and that is directly proportional to the economic growth, and that is again proportional to many other sustainable development goals of United Nations 2030. So this is like we don't have to go through SDG rules to understand how education harvest the best generation of that specific century, but understand it, be it education, be it health, be it well-being, be it entire growth of the city by itself. Every single element corner, it's been contributed in a better way. So educated population can change the entire country's status by itself. So I think more than one single individual's contribution, I feel the entire generation will be molded through the education, which is so very important, which also employment is a very important element of any country's growth for that matter. So my inspiration started from my childhood, from my mom, from the fact that education is the most important thing in the life.
Wonderful, wonderful. Where do you see next gen technologies? Everybody's talking about AI these days, right? AI, let's plug in metaverse. Do these technologies have the power to transform the education industry? And what is your perspective about it?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you look at it, we are still following the education system which is designed in 1893. When I say that, it's like 123-year-old education system is what we are following. But that is not what industry require, right? So there is a real-time examples that many industries, like one example is like a cyber park where they had around 6,000 opening, and then they were interviewing more than 20,000 candidates, and they couldn't find a single candidate. So when
Wow.
they say the real fact, which means education system is not matching or aligning with the industry requirement today. So which is why all the education institutions today is moving to the skill based training, and technology really plays a major role. Like if you go to access education by
Yeah.
brick and mortar schools, when as I speak today, there are 60 million children who do not have any access to education. So when I say education is so very important, the priority of certain geographies is totally different, because it depends on their affordability, availability, accessibility. So I definitely feel that technology is the only way or the only solution where education can be made accessible, available, and affordable for every single child on the planet. So technology like artificial intelligence is focusing more on skill based training,
Right.
and metaverse, like let me put it as more like a virtual learning,
Sure.
that rather than just a metaverse, because it will be a combination of spatial computing and artificial intelligence put together to have a 360-degree immersive learning. So they don't really have to touch and feel it, but it also gets a feel of they are for example uranium, that you cannot see how the nuclear power plant station
Correct.
works. So all these can be experienced by themselves. Solar system, you have a Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus in front of you, understanding everything, atoms, molecules. So that gives you not by hearting what is written in the textbooks in the bold letters, but rather than you're experiencing it, you're feeling it, and you're doing a skill-based training, which is very much required for their employment and
Correct.
industry requirement. That's where I'm feeling that technology changes the entire way the education can be looked at.
You raised a very important point on accessibility. When we want a world where everybody has accessibility to the education, what do you think are some of the large barriers that you see in this industry today, and how can technology catalyze the change there?
Oh, this is again a very important question as well. Let's divide the entire population into two. Okay, accessible and non-accessible. So accessible populations, like we are living in such an amazing country like UAE, where we have an AI minister by ourselves. It is the only country with a minister for AI as
Right.
well, right? And Crown Prince already announced to have AI training for the teachers. Well
Yeah.
before than students, because students are more tech savvy than the teachers as well. So the country like us, where we have accessibility, and every school following BYOD, where like bring your own device. So every learning platform has been evolved. There are millions of edtech platforms available in the market, and most of the schools have their own set of tools and technologies and platforms that they follow. So there is accessibility without any doubt. So there is accessibility, there is availability. Now I'm coming to the second other side of the population, where they do not have any access to the education as well. So take a typical example of Africa by itself, right? There are places where you don't have an electricity.
Wow.
There are places where education is just a word, and there is no learning happening. Hospitals, which is the most basic thing for any population over there, is not there. There is no clean hygiene water that we can drink. So if you're talking about artificial intelligence over there, if you're talking about bringing a metaverse learning over there,
Right.
it's impossible. They don't even use a notebook and pen to write down the patient's name.
Wow.
I should see that the very basic needs to be first fixed. If any hospitals or schools or any organizations start using Excel sheet to enter, the daily transactional entry, that is a digital transformation there.
For them, yes.
So we are talking about that kind of a geography. But yes, coming to the fact that the government support, as well as foundations, or as well as NGOs, other tech giants who can actually support in molding different countries of Africa, etc. If we form a consortium to drive some movement, and that's happening also. There are a lot of funds going into Africa. There are a lot of foundations, and the tech companies, giant companies, are as a part of CSR activities, or as a part of technology development, expansion, whatever that it is. It's trying to get focused on Africa. So if that is in line and in structured, and whether those contributions are going to the right hand, and it is developing, then of course then we should talk about bringing education through technology over there. Probably I would say If you are able to teach 100 students through brick and mortar school, you can target that into 10,000 students by using a technology over there.
That was actually my next question. Looking at underprivileged areas where access to basic education is a challenge today. Now, let's talk about metaverse as an opportunity. How do you think metaverse can solve this problem?
Okay, so I happen to get connected with um, a team of United Nations who was actually trying to work for African countries in Texas. So their aim was to develop a university.
Mhm.
Those students in Africa who cannot travel abroad and do their higher studies, they are giving an opportunity to enroll into the best of best universities in Texas. They're actually trying to build a university by itself, dedicated for the underprivileged kids actually.
Wow.
So this university wanted to have hybrid learning techniques. A distant learning is just simply that you don't have much of an interaction. There's no one-to-one training. There are no tutor-based training, right? So here they wanted to bring the tutor when the live classes are actually happening. At the same time, the students of those countries who enroll, who cannot actually travel and afford that much of fees for their higher studies, they can still enroll themselves, where education will be taken care completely by them.
Right.
They can also feel what the tutor is standing right in front of them. These are experiments which is going. You have your friend sitting in the gallery along with you. So it's like a classroom experience that can be bought. Even though you are actually thousands of miles away from the actual institution. So this is one way of looking at it. Now, how much practical in small scale it's been implemented and proven, but it's like a 1 hour session or a half an hour session or a conference or a meeting, but not as an entire curriculum or entire learning. And we still don't know how our human body biologically is going to get adopted
Right.
through this technology to go for a lengthier sessions in classes. So all that is in debate, all that is in the trial error aspect. But of course, on practical session theories, probably you can have a Zoom kind of a platform to have interactive sessions, or there are a lot of learning management system that they can actually have it. But however, certain experiments, like you're dissecting a frog, for example, or any practical session, physics experiment that you're doing in the laboratory, etc., where they cannot actually touch and feel it, but they can still have the complete understanding of how that is happening through the metaverse sessions. So I think with a structured approach of the
Right.
curriculum, the tutor, the hybrid learning, the technology, and the timetable, etc., I think that could be a successful factor to bring in. So I'm sure that in next few years, it's going to come with a much more amazing experience, probably not stuck with just a VR glass onto your chair and table, but it could be more like a digital experience, like physical and the digital put together,
So
where
the
you don't have
hybrid.
a hybrid, where you don't have so much of impact on your eyes and stress because you see through it. Like
Right.
there are a lot of VR AR glasses which is highly advanced, which is there in the market already. So maybe probably that could be a kind of integration that I see. And K-12 is already using it
Right.
by now. And preloaded curriculum is coming there. Like every single chapter, every single curriculum is being already digitized.
It's already a reality then.
It is already there. It's already there. So I think this could help a lot of underprivileged kids who do not have direct access to the institutions, probably to go for an education or a training in this way.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know you are a great advocate of inclusivity. I know that's a topic that is very close to your heart. How do you think AI can play a role, AI driven learning solutions, to help people who need different needs when it comes to
Yeah.
being educated?
Right. So, in the normal scenario, like we are all brilliant students when we were at schools and universities, right? But even then, my brain capacity, my focal point, my understanding, my interest is completely different from yours. So, in the normal scenario itself, we want personalized education,
Right.
which we do not have. It's like one size fit for all. Now, coming to differently abled or gifted child, uh, kids with autism,
Yeah.
but however they have a different ability. and it's very difficult to understand what is that one specific factor which is making that child different.
Correct.
So I feel that if they cannot hear, but their visual ability or grasping ability would be much better. So it always balances in one or the other
Right.
way. But having said that, every child's capacity is different, and differently able child require much more support in terms of education and learning. So today, when you know that differently able children, they need a personalized tutor in the classroom, irrespective that you already have a tutor in the class. And then there will be personalized counselor, which has been assigned in most of the premium schools,
Right.
premium plus schools, which has been given, and question paper assistance, which is there. So now think about that, having that complementary assistance in the form of an AI. So reading a question paper in the examination hall, that it is like AI is going to help you. You ask the child require, like, when I speak personally with the trainers of the people of determination, they say that we need to go through a lot of counseling session, because we say the same sentence 10 times today for them to understand. Tomorrow you need to repeat the same exercise, because they don't remember anything that you thought yesterday.
Right.
So over repeated effort and stress, they give up. Sometimes the trainers give up in that state. And of course, that trainers and the parents require more counseling than the students to handle them, right? So in this scenario, AI is not judgmental. AI will never get tired, and AI is accessible 24/7 across any time, middle of the night. So that assistant is going to be more complementary, and as the AI learn the students caliber, understanding, interest, sensitivity, emotions, then it's getting intelligent day by day as well, right? So this is one aspect of it. Another way I can look into it is like there are AI devices which can actually capture the brain wave of the child,
Okay.
and that's going to give you a dashboard with the complete analytics, like whether it's a happy moment, or by this specific command he's getting disturbed, he's frustrated, is going to get angry. To that extent, it can even predict what is the next move of the child.
Wow.
And this also give you a consistent monitoring of the child performance. Like 1 month you did the kind of a classroom training, plus you have a monitoring system, you understand what is the outcome, plus you have a certain practical training, skill based trainings, and all that put together become a package. So that give you consistent monitoring about the performance, and give you predictable facts and numbers, how the brain of this child works, and how the improvement pattern is happening, what are the shortcomings, what are the additional training that require, etc., which gives a complete understanding about it. So AI, this is just one two use case I just told you for people of determination. I can give you plenty of such kind of use cases which we can use in the practical state. And the same technology can be used even for the coma patients in the hospital when they
Okay.
are in a critical ICU stage, and we don't know what exactly it's going through. They're just only blinking the eyes, right? Many of the times they
Right.
can't even move their fingers. But then if these devices can actually capture their movement, their emotions, even sometimes it transforms your thoughts into speech as well. That is a much more advanced. You might have already seen it as well.
Yes.
Some of them using it. So this is the ability when it comes to complementing, supporting human life.
Possibilities are endless, right?
Endless, and it's
Awesome.
growing every day as we speak.
Wonderful. So I think with all of these initiatives, Dr. Isha, you'll understand and appreciate that funding does play an important role, right? So
True.
what do you think with the corporate social responsibilities and organizations around, what do you think, where do they have a role to play, and what can they do to enhance this cause that we are talking today?
Most of the organization, they have a mandatory CSR. So as a part of corporate social responsibility, there are many initiatives which is happening, right from the health to the blood donation camps to women empowerment sessions to training sessions, mentor mentee sessions. There are a lot, but on specifically doing in improving the quality of the life of the people. When it comes to slum areas, I think many of the organizations are focusing on education, health, clinical, support, some kind of health checkups for free. Those are the areas that people focus on. Educational aspect as well, there is a lot of contribution which goes as well. Um, I don't want to name the organization, but one of the organization which is very focused on developing one specific area of Africa again, and they have funded heavily. They have converted entire building, I
Wow.
think some three-story building, into a library by itself, and they are focusing women students, girls. They're bringing them, door to door, and then bring to that specific institute, and then training them, teaching them, and also enabling them. That is very important. Just by training and leaving, it's not going to help, but enable them, giving them job opportunity, and making them earn something, even if it is a very small earning,
Right.
but that help them to be independent and confident, which is a very important element as well. So one of such beautiful project which I am part of is Hope, which is health, opportunity, people, and education.
Health, opportunity, people, and education.
Yes, Hope.
Nice.
It's Hope Africa. So we are focusing on the same, all the elements which are touch base now. The most important prime thing is their health,
Mhm.
and then giving them opportunity to self-sustain, and then empower themselves. And then well-being of the people is so very important as well. And then the education. So these four pillars is what we are focusing on. Um, I believe every single organization plays a major role. It is a responsibility. When we say corporate social responsibility, is a
Right.
responsibility of we privileged people to handhold the underprivileged.
So, with every progress that human being makes, every disruption that brings in,
Yeah,
there are a lot of critics. They'll always argue, right?
yeah,
Because people don't accept changes the way
true.
they should be. But there is a valid point on table when it comes to education, that over reliance on technologies could actually lead to lack of human interaction. How do we
Mhm.
address that?
Okay. So every technology, as you rightly said, it comes with its as a package, good and bad as well. It's up to you. It's about it's your responsibility. How do you use it? So
Right.
look at atom bomb for that matter. It can be defensive and it can be destructive as well. The adoption of a cloud for a technology innovation, if I say, it's been how many years that we have phone banking, or we are doing internet banking. It's a few years, right?
Over a decade now.
Yeah, maybe that's it, over a decade probably. But then even then, I still know people who are not even still using the ATM card. There are people who still don't want to have an internet banking. They are scared about the safety security. But people like you and me cannot go take a token and stand in a long queue and get
True.
the things done. We need everything, every transactions, inter geography, border transactions that we
You're
wanted
actually
to do.
right. I don't remember the last time I went into my bank. So,
Exactly. And even if you go there, you get confused which counter to go for what. And it's so very difficult. And including the bank comes to your home that you don't need to really go there. So this is a very fast pace, right? So even the cloud adoption took more than 20 years for a complete coming into a migration. Even then, people are still in the on-premise hosting
true.
data, and so skeptical about moving to completely into the cloud. While we are talking also about the artificial intelligence, right?
Right.
So when it comes to education as well, it is called ethical AI or responsible AI. So, how do you create the same, like how responsible you as a parent to nurture your
Yeah.
child? It is same way we as a creator of AI, we are responsible. What are the useful use cases that you are using? It's individual to individual. It's about how your mentality is. You can use the same technology for destructive purposes. You can use the same technology for constructive purposes as
True.
well. My only worry these days, as far as children is concerned, is that they are tech savvy, which is amazing. They know every single aspect of technology better than us. All the technology that we are building now is for the Gen Z population,
Yeah.
which is for tomorrow, 10 years later. But however, they are too addicted to the screens. Screen time is something which is actually alarming for us. When there are a lot of 10, 15 other good things can be done, but one small a wrong path which can actually destroy the entire stuff. So that comes with we as a human being, and no technology can completely take away humanity. But let me also tell you, I just spoke in one of the recent talk to one of the school as well. There was an experiment which was done in China,
Mhm.
and the teachers, they made a robot with AI and start interacting with the students. uh, the children felt it so attached, so friendly, so connected, and they are venting out all their pain, and they started crying, and their emotions are put out. They discussed it because of the reason that this robot is non-judgmental. It's not judging you. It's not insulting, humiliating you. It's taking with the right sense and advising. But we parents are, or teachers are not that connected with the students right now. So this is where, imagine that our humanity is might get wiped away
Right.
if we don't bring that humanity. A metal piece with an AI program will take that humanity away from our hand. So I would say responsible AI and humanity's responsibility is in the hands of human, not in the hands of AI.
No, that's a very good point. My next question was around the ethical considerations of AI. Obviously, you answered few aspects around. You touched based on data privacy and other things. There's obviously a bias, which is always a concern with AI. Do you think that's manageable when it comes to education and adaptation of AI in the education industry?
I think education is the safest place now where you can actually use AI. When it comes to health, it's a high confidential information.
Right.
When it comes to bank, it's a very sensitive information that 0.00001% of error also you cannot afford. But education can be used to some extent without that fear. The one of the reason being, it's not a confidential information when it comes to curriculum. It's a knowledge which can be accessible to everybody. Of course, when it comes to the private data of the student, the mental ability, the score, etc., some sort of privacy needs to be compliant with our regulations. But I would say the easiest, industry where you can bring in AI in a constructive way is education today. So, provided every organization today, like every company have a different set of tools. Some use Outlook, some of them would like to use Gmeet,
Right.
some use Teams. So it's like a different set of approved or certified tools that you use in our organization, be it a corporate, be it a school, etc. Right? So those kind of compliances, certifications, and regulations needs to be taken care from the education institutions to make sure that the children are accessing the right thing the right way.
Very interesting. How do you see the role of educators evolving in a tech driven education landscape?
Yes. So if 5 6 years back, if a teacher is going for an interview,
Right.
you might be asking that, your experience and all that. On top of it, you will ask, do you know how to use a PowerPoint? Do you know how to make a posters? Have you used Canva? Or how do you use Excel, etc., which is a very basic. But now it's going to be, how well do you know to use Copilot? Have you ever tried ChatGPT? Which ChatGPT tool are you using?
Right.
How do you usually converse? How are you creating the the next day topics that you wanted to take into the class, etc. So I would say that the 70% of the productive time of the teachers are going in preparation for the next day. It's like doing their admin tasks, paperwork, etc., etc., which has actually complemented a lot by the new AI, many AI tools today, which has taken away a lot of admin tasks from the teachers, and where teachers were able to bring back the productive time at least 10 to 20% back to actual teaching
Right.
and focusing on the real subject, so which is actually a win for everybody. So teachers also understand that their students are more tech savvy. If teacher know 2 or 3 tools, children will be knowing 20 tools there. So it's very compulsive force for the teachers now to be tech savvy, and which is why the governments are putting that regulations today, like teachers need to go through mandatory AI training, professional development, etc. Because if you want to survive, be it any industry, doesn't matter you are a mathematics teacher or you are a history teacher, or even if you are a receptionist, you need to know certain basic tool which is a part of your daily activity.
I like the way you clearly segregated that it's actually in their advantage. It's a win win that with adaptation of technology like AI,
Yeah.
they are keeping the mundane, repetitive work
Yes.
to the technology while they focus on what they should be better at, which is how can they teach better. So that's a great point that you raised.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Isha, I understand that you wear many hats. You've been an entrepreneur, a philanthropist,
Yeah.
even a classical dancer.
How did you know that? It looks
Well,
like you did a research on
we
it.
do research our guests before we invite. So,
Yeah.
how do these diverse experiences shape your vision for education?
Okay. So many people usually ask me, you being a corporate, how are you into the patent? You being a patent, how are you into the public speaking? And how are you doing this art and entertainment or acting, etc. By the way, my Bollywood movie is yet to release.
Oh, wow.
So that's something totally different from education and technology and so on.
Excellent.
So I feel
Can we
that
get your autograph before then?
I think selfie.
Yeah, that'll be better.
It's a selfie time now. All right. So coming back to that, like certain activities that you do or you're passionate about, it's always there, no matter which industry that you work on, right? So I feel that my corporate credibility complemented me a lot, and my fame as Mrs. Universe and UAE United Nation, etc., has complemented me to speak loud and my voice being heard, and then taking you seriously. This is very important. Like,
True.
any layman go and talk, probably it's very difficult for you to put your points across and to get it justified. But I think my journey, every milestone which I have achieved, in every aspect of my life, has complemented as a package, as said earlier. Everything complement each other is what I feel. So my confidence level has boosted up a lot after I got to see all the brilliant women heard over there in Mrs. Universe. So you understand that where do you stand in the world, right? So that gave a lot of confidence once I'm back after that. And similar ways, when you go to art and entertainment industry, you being a technologist, you get a better positioning. Okay, she is intelligent, she's like, she's a techie, she's AI. So that gives me a vibe. I'll be enjoying that woman indeed. It's a secret, nobody will tell you this, but yes. So it's like it's complement each other in both the aspect. And philanthropy is always there, no matter whatever I am. If I'm able to extend my helping hands to the humanity, in terms of education or in terms of health, or wherever that I could, or because technology is my expertise, I thought technology could be the best tool that I could help to change humanity and support the people. So education is one thing which I'm always focused on, and I feel so much of joy spending time with the children, and I feel that my equation with them is so amazing, and I enjoy every moment I spend with them. So it's my life, I can say.
Fantastic. I think it's important that with all the limelight and attention that you seek, I wish the world had more people like you who would also ensure that you use the right way of using the stage and the platform to advocate something which is so important and so critical. I think healthcare and education are two aspects which define that. And I think your contribution in the education industry has been phenomenal. We take great pride in talking to you today. With that, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
What advice would you give to policymakers, educators, and tech innovators across the globe to make and drive a meaningful change in the field of education?
Wow. So it's a very difficult question, but it's a very important question as well. There are many aspects that we need to touch base. But then I wanted to bring back that ethical AI fact back into this, question. Uh, if you are a creator, right? How do you look at your own property? Do you want that property to give the best outcome, or do you want the property to be used for something destructive? I'm sure that when you, as a parent, when you have a child, you always look upon your child, that he should grow and be the example for rest of the world. I want him to succeed. I want him to be respected, right? So AI is just a technology. It doesn't have a life. There is no blood circulation happening. There is no heart which is pumping. There is no brain actually which is working its own.
Right.
It's about we giving that human intelligence to become a programmed language so that it is giving you the outcome, right? So when I talk about an ethical AI, consider that I'm a parent and I'm creating a robot who's my child, or an AI who's my child. So I would definitely want my child to grow up with my guidance, my compliance, my rules, my regulations, because that every single child will look to the world through our eyes as a parent. The same goes to AI as well. I want to consider it as my child or my kid. So my kid should look through the world through my eyes. So what I feed into my child
Right.
is what it will give you. The same way, when it comes to innovation and technology, if that is your child, then you feed in the best thing so that you will get the best outcome.
It's almost like having a virtual value system in whatever you create.
Amazing. I think you put it in the right way. The virtual value system is is the guideline that you need to follow when it comes to every single aspect innovation. And survival of the fastest is the tagline now, because any industry who is fast to adopt to the change, who are scalable enough, who is looking for make that change, growth, that is the company, or that is the organization, or that is the individual which can actually grow and make a change. So if you are comfort in the comfort zone, you will never grow. So you have to be unstable to be stable.
Fantastic. Well, that really defines what you stand for. Thank you so much, Dr. Isha,
Thank you.
for being a part of our show today. Uh, Alhamdulillah, you continue to do all the good things that you are doing, and you continue to shape up the future of education industry. So viewers, this was Dr. Ishha Qureshi. We will continue our journey with our next episode with one new leader, one episode at a time. Please press the bell icon, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and stay with us. Once again, thank you so much for being with
Thank
us today.
you. Thank
Really
you very much.
appreciate it. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Sunny. And then I wish you good luck with the show. And then let many leaders come to you and spread the voice across.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.